hope you've enjoyed tonight's presentation. Be sure to join us this Saturday at midnight when WTVH will present It Happened One Christmas.
A chicken is what it eats, and my chickens eat better than people do. I store my own grain, I mix my own feed, and give my Purdue chickens nothing but pure well water to drink. That's why my chickens always have that healthy golden yellow color. If you want to eat as good as my chickens, you'll just have to eat my chickens. That's really good.
Chappell's is having a very special sale on the finest quality watches for men and women. Chappell's has made a special purchase of famous name watches, gift boxed, fully warranted by the manufacturer, at the low price of only $39.99. Choose from such famous makers as Gruen, Elgin, Helbros, Benris, and many more. All at the low price of just $39.99. You'll find all the latest styles, great for yourself or as a gift. Hurry in for the best selection at all 7 Chappell stores.
MASH, weeknights at 7:30 on TV5.
Coming up on News Center 5, a small town's tragedy grows worse. In Canastota, an explosion and fire destroys a family's home.
And a standoff with a sniper is over. 2 men are wounded. The gunman is under arrest. In the weather, colder temperatures translate to snow flurries.
And in sports, 2 universities name new head coaches.
Now, Bob Kirk, Liz Ayers, and Mark Cooper on sports. This is News Center 5.
Good evening. Here's what's going on. This has been a year of big tragedies in a tiny Cayuga County hamlet. Tonight, Dave Bullard reports on a troubled family that has a second life-threatening problem.
Tragedy has come twice by automobile for the Bennett family. Jeffrey Bennett's car killed 4 children this year in Red Creek. He was drunk behind the wheel. A sentence of 2 to 6 years in prison should have ended the tragedy. It did not. Last Thursday, 2 trucks collided at this intersection. One flipped over. It threw its passenger through the windshield onto the country road. Lying amidst the wreckage, Jeffrey Bennett's wife. Tammy Bennett is in critical condition with major head injuries. Her parents declined to talk to News Center 5 today. They say they want no one's help. But family friends in this crossroads community worry.
It's a small community. Everybody gets concerned, you know, especially with the bad luck they've had.
I know Tammy very well, and Lloyd. It's a surprise, you know, it's one after another.
At the Reynolds gas station and a mile down Route 104 at the Greens Country Kitchen, everyone offers to help. They hear Tammy may need a blood transfusion, and some volunteer their blood. And they shake their heads sadly over this year of twin traffic tragedies for the Bennetts. Dave Bullard, News Center 5.
The case of accused murderer Robert Matthews goes to the jury tomorrow. The 18-year-old Matthews is accused of setting the October 1985 fire that killed his aunt. Attorney summations ended earlier today, and tomorrow morning the jury gets the case.
Members of a family living in a small home off Oneida Lake consider themselves very lucky tonight, although you might not see why right away.
What had been their home off Wilson Cove Road in Canastota is literally a cinder now, following a fire and apparent explosion which erupted shortly after 5 this afternoon. 3 dogs inside died. A cat escaped. The couple and their daughter who lived here were not home at the time, but almost.
Just when I got home from work, I had to go to therapy for my neck, and we just come around the bend. I see the fire department going down our road, so I figured probably our home.
My husband picked me up. We come home to this. Lost everything.
Firefighters say they're not yet sure what caused the fire. One investigator thinks it might have begun with a kerosene furnace. Another says it might have been electrical. Nor are they sure of the sequence of events.
The residents of the area say there was an explosion in the building, but they didn't say whether it was prior to the start of the fire or that caused the fire.
The family had been planning to spend Christmas in the small wood frame home. They'll be spending the next several days just trying to find the tiny pieces that are left.
Meanwhile, at Syracuse's VA hospital, no patients were forced to evacuate, but some workers had to leave when asbestos was accidentally uncovered. Carol Clark reports.
As contractors worked on a major renovation project on the 8th floor at the VA hospital, they unveiled asbestos wrapped around some pipes when a hole was knocked into a linen chute. According to VA officials, they immediately sealed the area, evacuated all personnel, and conducted air monitoring samples.
Initial results of those after several hours are that they're well below EPA standards for background levels.
Veterans Hospital officials say its 270 patients were not at risk because none were on the 8th floor at the time. A 50-bed nursing home care unit had been relocated when the 8th floor renovation began. Asbestos becomes at risk when it's airborne. Long-term exposure causes a lung condition called asbestosis. But Miller claims it's common to find asbestos in facilities like this one built in the 50s. And he says the renovation plan calls for its removal, and asbestos has been found here before.
We kind of expect these things to happen. At the initial stages of the project, we knew asbestos abatement was part of it, and what happened is something that you, again, can almost certainly expect.
Hospital administrators will meet tomorrow morning to evaluate the asbestos problem and decide what steps to take next. At the VA hospital, Carol Clark, News Center 5.
Is it a real solution, or is it something like closing the barn door after the horse is already left? Larry Sperano reports on the latest move to clean up the water in Cortland.
This is Otter Creek. It and nearby Dry Creek are part of the aquifer system from which the city of Cortland and the town of Cortlandville draw drinking water. Part of the aquifer has already been polluted by chemicals which the state says have seeped from the local Smith Corona plant. Now the Cortland County Legislature has voted to petition the Environmental Protection Agency to designate the system as a sole source aquifer, meaning that no federal funds would be provided for construction which threaten the aquifer, but millions of federal dollars could be provided for projects such as filtration systems which protect the aquifer. County officials admit the move will not immediately eliminate pollution that already exists, but they say it's better than nothing.
I'm very satisfied.
But the satisfaction which county legislators are showing is not being shared by residents of the polluted Pheasant Run neighborhood in Cortland.
It's absolutely the least they could have done. There's no question about that, and we want more. And we want them to realize that they have to make protection of this aquifer a priority.
Water had to be trucked into the neighborhood this summer, and now homes are hooked to a municipal water supply, which neighbors say might also become affected by Smith Corona. For Jamie Dangler and Bob Moore, the move to protect the aquifer is, in many ways, too little, too late. In Cortland, Larry Sperano, News Center 5.
Krauss-Irving Memorial Hospital delivered 4,300 babies last year, and they're running out of room. Krauss and St. Joseph's Hospital are applying for 16 additional nursery beds to free up critical care space at Krauss. CIM houses the neonatal unit for an 11-county area, and a hospital administrator says there is a desperate need for more space.
I know many times that we're closed, St. Joseph's is closed, and community is closed. So it's not that it's just us that's busy, it's the community as a whole that's busy.
The process through which new beds are requested normally takes as long as 2 years, but Botter predicts the state will recognize that and that this is an emergency and will act more quickly.
Just ahead on News Center 5, CIA Director William Casey testifies and confounds Congress. And after 17 years, a ceasefire in the Philippines. It's scheduled to last at least 60 days.
Do it right. Do it yourself and save at National Auto. Do it. Be warm with the Sagaz Mouton Supreme Genuine Sheepskin Seat Cover, only $39.99. For Christmas, it's the Whistler 3 Super Het Radar Detector. With rebate only $69.99. The top-of-the-line Spectrum only $179.99. Do it. A tune-up with the Sun Super Tac 2 or Sun Tune Timing Light and Analyzer, only $29.99 each. So do it right. Do it yourself and save with National Auto. Open 7 days a week and evenings, too.
This holiday season, you can save up to 60% on famous maker large and half-size fashions at Stylish Women. Save 30 to 60% on sweaters and blouses. Save at least 25% on robes and intimate apparel. Save 25 to 50% on coats. Save a third to a half on coordinates. Start your Christmas shopping early with savings of up to 60% on selected groups in every department. Now at Stylish Women.
Stylish Women for holiday savings. Northern Lights Mall, Fairmount Fair, and Erie Boulevard East.
I'm always looking for ways to simplify my life. That's one reason I'm glad I looked at Ford Escort. First off, I had my choice of Ford's lowest financing or hundreds of dollars in cash back. Second, I was able to save over $600 more on a special option package. Third, my Ford dealer gave me a warranty unmatched by any other American car maker. And for 4 years, it's been the world's best-selling car. I don't know, sounded pretty simple to me. Those local Ford dealers really are quality people with quality products that are simply great.
Why is Christmas more fun with a gift from Dick's?
Because everything we sell is designed for fun and on sale now.
No one beats our golf department. Names like Wilson, Northwestern, FootJoy, and more.
We'll help you choose the right exercise equipment from Marcy, Bollinger, and AMF.
Everything for the fishermen is here and on sale.
Along with the top names in racket sports like Prince, Pro Kenix, and Spalding.
Brunswick, Dexter, and Hush Puppy head up our bowling department.
Cross-country ski packages start at just $69.99.
Can't decide? Then pick up a gift certificate in any amount.
From Dick's Clothing and Sporting Goods, because Christmas is more fun with a gift from Dick's.
In the Heckinger Plaza, DeWitt.
In Kentucky, a sniper is in custody tonight. A disgruntled former worker at the University of Kentucky was subdued on the Lexington campus after wounding 2 men and holding police at bay for almost 11 hours. The sniper fired random shots from the window of a campus building. Authorities say 25-year-old Ulysses Davis held off a small army of police, including a SWAT team. Finally, Davis was overcome by high-powered fire hoses. Davis was said to be carrying out a vendetta for being fired as a maintenance worker, reportedly for fighting with fellow workers. An escapee from Sing Sing prison was captured tonight more than 24 hours after he and 2 other inmates had scaled a wall around the prison and gained their freedom. Shortly before 8 this evening, Thomas Linz was taken into custody after police found him hiding in a boat. Another escapee, Julio Giano, is reported still at large. Both men were serving sentences for murder. A third inmate who broke out was captured earlier.
CIA Director William Casey today testified in a closed hearing on the Iran-Contra connection, but the panel's chairman says more questions were raised than were answered. Ike Pappas reports.
Much of Casey's heavily guarded closed-door testimony centered around the question of when he knew profits from the sale of weapons to Iran were diverted to the Nicaraguan Contra rebels through a secret Swiss bank account. The New York Times reported that Casey learned about the diversion of the money a month before it was uncovered by the Justice Department. The article suggested that Casey is more deeply involved in the Iran arms scandal than he is admitting. But committee members who heard the testimony say Casey denied the report.
He has already said publicly and reiterated again today privately before the committee that the first knowledge he had of the diversion of funds to the Contras was when Attorney General Neese informed him of it.
It is absolutely clear that Lieutenant Colonel North and Admiral Poindexter could not have been operating or acting on their own, and that they would not have undertaken these initiatives without the approval of a higher authority. It is my very strong feeling that that higher authority was probably, indeed almost certainly, was the President of the United States himself.
Chairman Fussell said his now completed hearings raised more questions than they answered, and that the puzzle will not be completed until the question of immunity from prosecution for key witnesses who have taken the Fifth Amendment is settled. Ike Pappas, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The first nationwide ceasefire in the Philippines in 17 years began right on schedule today. Hundreds of masked rebels came out of the mountains to celebrate the 60-day historic truce. There were generally peaceful marches in at least 8 cities, but authorities say one parade, some 600 miles south of Manila, turned violent. In France, hundreds of thousands of students, teachers, and workers also took to the streets, and again, most of them peacefully today. Their intention to mourn the death of a student allegedly beaten by police during an anti-government riot.
The nation's foreign trade deficit has hit a record. The deficit rose to nearly $38 billion during the third quarter. The government says the biggest factor, car imports. The stock market made a comeback today as selective buying produced a strong rally. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 16 points, while advancing issues led decliners by 4-3. Trading was active as about 139 million shares changed hands. Next, we'll see some sun tomorrow, but snow isn't far away. And we'll check out performers as smooth as ice.
It's
It's the final 2 weeks of OCC spring semester registration. You can still use the OCC spring course book that came in your mail before Christmas. Pick from credit or non-credit courses, new career programs, career development and personal development programs. Study at the main campus or an extension site near you. Register by phone and use your credit card for convenience. OCC has education for everyone. So get what you want in education at Onondaga Community College.
Gordon's prices are lower. VCRs from $249, car stereos installed from $49.88, TVs from $249, and complete home stereo systems starting at just $129.95. And we're not talking off brands here. We're talking Sony, Pioneer, JVC, RCA, Technics, Yamaha, Panasonic, Alpine, and Sharp. The brand names you want at the prices you want to pay. So come to Gordon's where the prices are lower.
It's no secret. Today's copper top battery makes yesterday's look, well, not too swift. In fact, it's so completely improved, it'll last up to 30% longer than the ones we made just 2 years ago. It'll keep going long after our old battery is dead in the water. Today's Duracell. No battery lasts longer.
Do you suffer from the gift uh-ohs?
It's just what I needed.
Uh-oh.
It fits perfectly.
Uh-oh.
I love it. What is it?
Uh-oh. This year avoid the uh-ohs with a gift that won't get returned. Isotona gloves.
Thanks. I can really use these.
Isotona brand gloves. One size fits everyone perfectly.
At all 7 Chapel stores.
For low rates and no annual fee for the first year, get both on MasterCard and Visa because 2 cards are better than 1.
At Northstar Bank, you're number 1.
Now, tonight's winning lottery numbers in Lotto 48. They are 15, 9, 22, 41, 7, 1. The supplementary number is 30. The daily number tonight, 959. The win for combo, 4163.
Yes, a little chilly today, right?
Cold. A little bit.
Yes, central New York. Is it cold enough for you tonight? Temperatures drop today, and it's going to be chilly, so pull out an extra blanket or so. The high today was 44, and that was at midnight last night, so it really has dropped. The low 26. Last year at this time, the high was 34, the low 29. The precipitation, just a trace today. No snow either, but that's going to change too. Right now, let's look at our current conditions. It's mostly cloudy in our area. The temperature is 26 degrees. The barometer is 30.14. The relative humidity, 54%. And winds are out of the west at 15 miles per hour. Right now, the wind chill is 2 degrees. Woo. Around the TV5 viewing area, it is cloudy with light snow reported in some areas. Temperatures range from 18 in Old Forge to 32 in Auburn. Across the nation tonight, clear skies west of the Rockies, snow over the Great Lakes. In Texas, cold temperatures and snow, up to 6 inches in some areas. And in the southeast, rain. Looking now at the northeast radar map, blustery winds drove colder air into the Empire State today, caused by high pressure over the Midwest. A fast-moving low-pressure system from the northern plains will cross the area late Thursday. And here's what we can expect tonight. Variable cloudiness with a few flurries. Lows around 20, winds out of the west 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly sunny and cold with a few flurries tomorrow. Highs 25 to 30, winds out of the southwest rather, at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a few flurries, lows 20 to 25. And now the 5-cast. On Friday, mostly cloudy and breezy with a chance of snow late in the day, high near 30. Saturday, cold with scattered flurries, high 20 to 25. A chance of snow on Sunday, and fair weather on Monday and Tuesday, highs in the 30s. So that's a look at weather, and snow will be a part of it. Can't get away from it.
That's true.
Still ahead on News Center 5, a skating spectacular glides into town.
And Dwayne the Pearl Washington leads the Nets into Boston Garden against the Celtics.
What's your name, please?
Adrena. Nicholas.
Miss Nicholas, we'd like you to do a comparison shopping test for us. We want you to go to a Wegmans store of your choice and duplicate this P&C order at our expense. Then when you come back from the Wegmans store, we'll compare the prices. Would you like to do that for us?
Sure.
Okay,
How could I lose?
All right, now we can compare the totals. Miss Nicholas, what'd you spend here at P&C?
$68.29.
And at Wegmans?
$74.63.
For the same items?
For the same items.
What were the savings?
$6.34.
Less here at P&C. Have you ever seen one of these commercials before?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it was silly. I thought they were actors, really.
But now?
I did. But no, they're real. I'm real.
You know differently.
Introducing Wendy's new Big Classic Hamburger. The soft Kaiser bun, the fat tomatoes, the fresh toppings, the beef. Wendy's new Big Classic. This is the good stuff.
And here's the good stuff special.
It's Wendy's Big Classic Combo Offer. Big Classic, regular fries, and medium soft drink, all for only $1.99.
Just ask for the Big Classic Combo.
And bring a big appetite.
The Big Classic Combo, only $1.99.
This is the good stuff. Where can you find Christmas excitement? At Fayetteville Mall. Sears, Sisley's,
And Pets's too.
everything is there.
Watch Christmas come alive with storybook scenes and Santa visits to light up little faces. You'll find gifts for friends and family, something for him and something for her. Gifts from high-tech to high fashion, exciting toys and more. Christmas is everywhere, and it's there at Fayetteville Mall.
An SU connection to a new job in Maryland.
That's right. Old-timers for SU have to stretch their memories a bit, but they'll remember this name in the playing days. Former Syracuse assistant coach Joe Krivak will take over as head coach for the Maryland Terrapins. Now, Krivak replaces Bobby Ross, who, of course, resigned last week after 5 years at the Terps' helm. Krivak has been an assistant at Maryland under Ross since 1982. He was a candidate for that top job when Ross was selected 5 years ago. Krivak, a 3-year letterman at Syracuse back in the mid-50s. Elsewhere, Purdue University today named Fred Akers as its new head coach. He steps on for Leon Burtonette, who resigned last month. Akers spent a very short week on the unemployment line after being fired at the University of Texas last week. Akers won more than 70% of his games with the Longhorns over a decade, but their 5-6 season in 1986 was the team's first losing record in 30 years. In college basketball tonight, 8th-ranked Western Kentucky lost to defending national champion Louisville. This game was tied at the half, and after the break, Western Kentucky took its first lead since early in the contest on Roy Swager's three-pointer from the corner. But the Cardinals' Tony Kimbrough came back and hit the 13-footer. That cut the Hilltoppers' lead to 1. Kimbrough later connects, fighting off 3 Western Kentucky defenders here for the go-ahead score. Now, it was a 2-point game with time running out, and Swager again will get the call from three-point land, but no, it was no good as the last second tips off. Louisville wins 60-58. In other college basketball action tonight, just one other game in the top 20 tonight. A top 20 clash, as a matter of fact. 18th-ranked Alabama holding off number 20 Arkansas 87-76. In the NBA tonight, the Nets traveled to Boston and lost despite another good performance by the Pearl. Larry Bird making his return to the Celtics lineup, showing no ill effects of that ankle injury that had sidelined him. Bird, 35 points tonight. And a good night as well for the Nets' James Bailey. He'll follow his own shot in here for the tip-in. Bailey with 21 for New Jersey. Dwayne Washington had 27 last night against Sacramento. He came back with 19 points tonight in Boston Garden. Later on here, he hits a jumper after a nice tap-back move by Bailey with a minute and a half left. The Nets trying to get back in this game. The Pearl will go back. He'll look at the three-point line and throw it up, and it's good. That made it a 5-point game with about a minute and a half left, but Boston held off the Nets by 10, 108-98. New Jersey drops to 3-17 on the year. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Knicks came close tonight, but lost by a point to Washington, 106-105. Atlanta killed the Chicago Bulls, 123-95. Another game, Philadelphia over Indiana by 10. The Lakers as well got shelled at Milwaukee, 116-93. Detroit over Sacramento by 7. Third quarter, it's Houston trailing Phoenix by 4. Dallas slides by Portland by a point. And in the second quarter, Utah trails Denver 48-41. In high school action tonight, Oneida wins by 20 over Camden. Mark Ano, 20 points in that game for Oneida. Central Square by a point over Fulton, and another one-point contest in overtime. Corcoran going to J.D. and winning 68-67. In hockey, the L.A. Kings continued their East Coast swing tonight, stopping to meet the Rangers. The Kings scored in the second period on a play that Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay used back in the 1950s. Phil Sykes here bangs the puck into the corner. Sean McKenna firing the rebound home. Now, the Rangers come back with 2 second-period goals by Phil McKegney. Here, he'll score from the slot. Then later on, still in the second period, makes a great move in and scores. But with the game tied 4-4 in the third, it was Don Maloney's scrappy play that won it. He finally scores to give the Rangers a 5-4 victory. Buffalo is losing tonight in Chicago. That game in the third period, 5-2, the Blackhawks lead. Calgary over Pittsburgh by 2. Edmonton over Winnipeg 7-4. Hartford knocked off St. Louis. And Toronto scored 5 goals in the third period to knock off the Caps 8-2. In high school wrestling tonight, West Genesee traveled to Baldwinsville. The Bees, top-ranked team in Section 3, and they jumped out to an 18-zip lead thanks to 3 West Genny forfeits. Now, the Wildcats made it close, but this pin coming up by Baldwinsville 152-pounder Bob Scheffling helped the Bees pull away in the match. Beeville wins it 40-17, and the Bees are now 2-0 on the season. And that's sports.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Tis the season for Ice Capades. Tonight, the spectacular open for a 5-day run.
And this evening, Channel 5 was the host, and there was an eager crowd on hand to see the performance. The show, The Best of Times, features the best of talent. The headliners are champions. This kind of work is not as grueling as competition, but you've got to be in shape, and you've got to maintain your weight.
I used to skate 6 to 8 hours a day. You know, now if I skate an hour or 2 hours a day, that's plenty.
But Teddy, everyone here is so magical and special.
If you gain a pound in this business, it doesn't look good sticking out of your costume, and so therefore it costs you a little bit of cash. And if you're overweight enough times, you can lose your job.
This is entertainment at its best, but it's also a sport that requires skill and coordination.
And we take our fair share of spills, either during the show or after the show practicing.
These performers live on the road most of the year. Makes you wonder what they do for entertainment.
Well, in a place like Syracuse, there's a lot of good-looking ladies walking around. I'm just waiting for somebody to come and ask me out, you know.
No problem, Chris. Catch him through Sunday at the War Memorial. He was a cutie, and he's going to be busy, I have a feeling.
If you say so, Liz.
No comment. That's our report for tonight. Have a good evening.
For all of us who work the late night news watch here at your news center, good night.
I do.
Hot Hits 93Q invites you to win fabulous prizes in the easiest contest in the world.
Tune your FM radio to 93Q right now and be listening tomorrow morning between 7 and 7:30 for your name.
If we announce your name, you can win.
Tomorrow's prize is a cellular mobile telephone installed in your car from Cellular One Syracuse Telephone Company, the #1 cellular service in Central New York.
Listen to 93Q tomorrow morning between 7 and 7:30 with Laird and Long.
Know your name and our slogan and win in the easiest contest in the world from Hot Hits.
93Q.
Silo would like to wish you happy holidays. And to make yours even happier, we're having our sale of the season. We'll help you select that special gift you've been looking for at a price you can afford. Like a Magnavox 19-inch monitor-style color TV with remote control, a low $299. The season's best buy, a Mitsubishi 3-head VCR with HQ and remote, an unbelievable $349. Silo's sale of the season, just in time for your holiday shopping.
Eddie Murphy.
Hey, man, you boys a couple of questions.
Is back in action. All he's got to do is rescue the child.
Oh.
Impress the girl.
A bed.
Is that the bed?
And save the world.
You buy that? No. Well, I do my best.
The Golden Child, rated PG-13.
Opens Friday, December 12th at the Camillus Mall and Cinema East.
Pull on, pull over, button up, button down, cover up, open up, dress down, at work or on the town. Sweaters, you'll find them all at Chappell's now.